This is a crazy thought. I mentioned this in another upload. The idea came towards the end of the video about how, people are saying that, oh, Tony with the kids, this is too much. Danny needs to go back to Preston. No, 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 that does not need to happen. But then I mentioned, because somebody in one of my videos said something to the effect of, wow, it's going to be pretty awkward during a Zatima wedding when Preston shows up. He's there happy with Mindy and Danny's looking miserable. And I thought about how all the other women could be in a similar situation, and it will just be glorious because now the synopsis for episode 2 of season 7 states something to the effect of the girls have their first like boozy brunch, Fatima included, which could hint at some point during the time skip or in the early stages of season 7, Fatima officially becomes a member of the sister circle, which honestly, myself and a lot of other fans do not like this idea. But the new writers might be cooking up something interesting, so I'll give them a shot because I think that these women have done nothing to reflect being a positive impact or addition to Fatima's life. Then again, Fatima's own friend group isn't really that great, but I don't know. But regardless, I was saying that when Zach and Fatima get married, whether that's a made for TV movie or like a multi-episode arc, whatever you want to do with it, or if it takes place in Zatima or Sisters, however Tyler Perry and crew want to put it together, it would be great if Fatima, let's say, is part of the sister circle, because that might actually mean all the women, including Karen, will be in attendance at the wedding. And what would be the icing on the cake, or wedding cake, pun intended, would be if all the ladies saw men from their past that they decided to toss aside in favor of another man who turned out to be nothing. They show up to the wedding with their own dates and in some cases possibly wives, and they are just happy. And typically they say like during, weddings, that's it, some people get wedding fever. It's kind of like, oh, when some women see babies, they get baby fever or something like that. When it comes to a wedding, imagine these, I don't, you know what, maybe, this is just me thinking out loud, but maybe when I think about the idea I'm about to present, it would make the most sense if this is like the series finale. Zach and Fatima get married. That doesn't mean Zatima can't continue on, but let's say the wedding happens in Sisters and the Zatima wedding is like the series finale. And this would be the perfect opportunity for the women to look back throughout the entirety of the Sisters series and realize that they screwed up. This would be the perfect way to end the series because the women will finally take accountability for their own actions. Let me just lay it out for you. Tyler Perry's writing team, because yes, at this point in the series, there is a writing team. Well, season 7 moving on. So James Giddin or whoever else is on the team. Hey, anybody from Sisters or Zatima that's listening to this video, pitch this idea, but you got to give me credit. Come on, you got to give me something. All right. The series finale is Zach and Fatima's wedding. All right. You got Andy, Sabrina, Karen, Danny. Now, I'm not saying they're bridesmaids or whatever, but they're in attendance at the wedding, whatever. For Danny, maybe things didn't work out with Tony. She figures out like, hey, that's too much baggage, 2 kids, ex-wife. Even though he's a nice guy, I don't want all this. Preston shows up to the wedding because Preston and Zach are pretty tight, and I think that Zach would give him an invite. Preston's invited to the wedding. He shows up, and his wife, Mindy, is in attendance with him. That's his +1. They're looking all happy. Sabrina. We do know that she plans on freezing her eggs in season 7 because I do recall her love interest during that season, who might be rich. I don't know. It might be another character, but things didn't work out with him because, even though he's a great guy, he doesn't want kids. But then Sabrina realizes that she wants kids more than she wants to be with a man who doesn't want kids. So she's single. She sees, let's say, Calvin at the wedding. This is a bit of a stretch. I don't see Calvin showing up realistically because to my knowledge, Calvin and Zach don't really know each other. I don't even know if they've interacted ever. I do know that at the beginning of the season at the salon when it was burnt and everybody showed up, Calvin and Zach were there, but they really didn't interact. He just rushed over to Sabrina and that was it. But let's just say he's there for whatever reason. I don't know. But Calvin's there and he's with Peggy. You know, the white chick who he came out of his room butt naked with in season 3, or just another woman in general. But I'll just say Peggy because I want to try to pair up the men that show up to the wedding with women that have appeared in the show, so long as they have relevance to that character. Like Peggy, we know is, you know, linked to Calvin in some way. Mindy, of course, linked to Preston. So then, you know, Calvin's there. You know, he has a woman who likes his kinks. He's all happy and smiling. Then when it comes to Karen, this is a tough one. Aaron showing up is a real stretch. I mean, even more so than having Calvin show up. But let's just say Aaron show maybe during the 3 months. Let's say, you know, this is past the time where Karen has found out the DNA test results. Zach isn't the daddy. Maybe Aaron isn't the father either. Maybe it's that Rico guy everybody's theorizing, or maybe it's somebody else. Aaron shows up because maybe after finding out he isn't the father, let's just say Aaron calls Zach's like, so I heard you aren't the father, and Karen told me I'm not the father. And let's just say they form a brotherhood from that, and they're cool. Aaron shows up, and he's with either that crazy Jennifer chick that slapped him outside of the salon, or he's just with Pam, as I've been pitching that idea for quite a while. But let's just say him and Pam are sitting up there in the church. They're all happy and smiling and shit. Karen just looks sick to her stomach, literally. It could be morning sickness. I don't know, but she's just sick to her stomach because, you know, she chased after a man who she discarded, who's about to marry the love of his life. And then when it comes to Andy, ooh, this is a good one, people. This is a good one. Robin shows up. Jeremy, why would Robin be there? I mean, you already explained like Calvin and Zach don't really know each other like that, so why the heck would Calvin show up? But I kind of get what you're saying. Aaron is a bit of a stretch, but, you know, if these two guys link up over the fact that they aren't the baby daddy of Karen's kid, then that kind of, you know, because guys usually squash beef quicker than, you know, women do. But why would Robin be there? He doesn't know Zach or Fatima. Well, he knows Fatima. Remember, they used to work together. But the thing is, though, Robin helped Zach get out of jail, remember? Not only, you know, he also helped Fatima out, but I think, you know, with Robin really enjoying how Fatima makes Hayden suffer, and Fatima being like, hey, Zach, we got to invite my old boss, Robin, because remember, he helped us out of jail, you know, a few seasons ago with the Hayden stuff. Robin should show up. I don't really know what woman he should have. What about that? Okay, it would be kind of awkward if he shows up with that chick he had a threesome with Andy. But then again, she is fine as heck, and I do want to see her again. But regardless, Robin shows up with a date. He's happy. And maybe like the sisters are like the bridesmaids or something, and then they're all standing at the altar with Zach and Fatima, and they're looking out in the crowds at the men that they passed up for other men who turned out to let them down. Like, for example, let's just say that Jordan gets killed in season 7 or something, and or he and Andy just don't date anymore. And, you know, remember, it was all about Gary. And now Andy's single, Karen's single, Danny's single, Sabrina's single, and they had to look out into the congregation of the wedding and realize they effed up. And the woman who wasn't part of their friend group was the one who found happiness. Folks, this is why I need to be a writer. This stuff is amazing. I would love to see it, because to me, this would be the perfect book into the story, because my biggest thing is none of these women take accountability. But at the end of the day, or at the end of the series, they're going to have to look at all the men that they ran, you know, just walked all over, kicked to the curb in favor of one night stands, or, oh, this man has money, or this man, you know, he's not, you know, he's black, he ain't white, and he doesn't really, you know, he understands the culture. This man, he's good in bed versus this man who actually treats me well. And the list goes on. It's Karen realizing that she was chasing the past instead of trying to make things work with the good man in her present. With Sabrina, it was about, you know, listening to everybody around her except for what her heart was telling her. For Danny, it was about her reluctant her being her reluctantness, if is that a word, her being reluctant about a good man because she's so used to, you know, one night stands and just thugs and whatnot. And with Andy, well, karma. Enough said. It's kind of like in Living Single, where I saw this like a reel about like this guy who talked about, you know, the different women in Living Single, and how at the end of the day, Sinclair, she was the you know, the goofy one, but she was the only one who married her dream man, the man of her dreams. Regine got married, but that was just way late in the series. Plus, that was when Kim Fields was no longer in the show. But, you know, it made sense. I'm like, yeah, it's like all these other women like Max and Regine and Khadijah, they dated all of like Black Hollywood, all the men like Morris Chestnut, Terrence Howard, and whatnot. But at the end of the day, Sinclair was the one that got her man. I love that. So imagine that Fatima, the one outside of the sister circle, she's the one that got the man of her dreams. So, folks, that's my pitch. And hey, Tyler Perry Studios people, if anybody looks at this video and is like, yo, that's a great idea, do me one favor. Let me be in the audience of the wedding. Like, let me be just a random person sitting in the crowd at Zach and Fatima's wedding. And then I could be like, yo, I'm in that. I'm in that. Because this idea is phenomenal. You can't tell me otherwise. Write a better series finale than this. This is the perfect series finale. Let me know what you think, folks. Please share this on Twitter. Tag Tyler Perry Studios, Sistas, all the cast members. This is a great idea. Even if it doesn't happen, it's still great. I feel like this is the perfect way, because recently I did a video, a short, because people keep asking me, Jeremy, how would you end the Sisters? And I'm like, I don't care how it ends, so long as it doesn't end like have and have nots where everybody gets killed off. This is perfect. This is perfect. I don't care what anybody says. Okay, I'm done. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll catch you in the next video.